Mario, you did it! I'm saved! Thank you so much!
Yes, Princess, you are free. Your nightmare is over.
This episode comes with a content warning for game footage involving hypersexualized female characters and is not recommended for children.
Oh, I'm so happy!
Yes. How about a kiss?
They're intentionally put into the game by the designers, and as a result indicate the value that the designers themselves place on these female characters. They communicate to players that yes, these women exist for players to exploit or experiment with for their own amusement.
What?
I say, how about a kiss, yes?
What? Why would I do that?
What? Why would you? I just saved your life.
Just so we're clear on what's happening here, players are receiving a literal trophy for achieving sex with a woman. When games such as these award players with achievements or trophies for sexual conquests, they are directly reinforcing negative ways of thinking about the dynamics between men and women in our society. By presenting sex as an end goal of men's interactions or relationships with women, these games frame sexual encounters as challenges to be overcome. By presenting sex as a goal and then presenting players with an award for accomplishing that goal, these achievements function as a form of trophyism.
Yeah, but I don't even know you.
I rescued you.
Yeah, but you expect... What kind of Samaritan are you? You rescued me just so you could get with me?
This should be obvious, but unfortunately, male entitlement is a pervasive problem in our culture today. The male entitlement mindset has a profound impact on how men relate to and interact with women. We see it manifest whenever a man orders a woman to show him her tits, or makes demands during an online game that a woman send him nude or sexual photos. We see it in real-world spaces whenever men catcall women on the street. We see it whenever a man gropes a woman at an event or convention. We see it whenever a man expects sex in return for buying a woman dinner. At its most serious, male entitlement is a mentality that serves as the foundation for the epidemics of date rape and sexual assault in our society.
I'm not asking you to have sex with me. All I want is a kiss. Do you know what I went through to get here?
Ooh, you leaped a bunch of mushrooms. I'm so impressed.
Well, you're the one who got captured by mushrooms. I mean, how the hell does that even happen?
Don't flip this.
I'm not. You got kidnapped by something that goes on a salad.
Okay, it's a little more complicated.
These achievements are directly rewarding players for in-game behavior that amounts to sexual harassment. Players are actively being encouraged to think of women's bodies as something they are entitled to interact with. That fact in and of itself is troubling, but it's just another example of the core problem with the women as reward trope. Game systems are designed to provide feedback mechanisms that either punish or reward players for the ways they interact with virtual environments. Because video games are constructed around these formal input-output systems, they can be an especially powerful tool for reinforcing cognitive patterns by modeling and rewarding player behavior.
Also, these turtle shell things I had to jump over, and that was really hard. And the only help I got was every once in a while a gold star would appear up above me, and I would jump up and touch it, and it would go let, and then that would help a little bit.
Players go through the process of saving the princess, and the game's algorithm dutifully rewards them with what they think they are rightfully owed for doing so. Social science indicates that one of the primary ways we learn about the world and our relationships to each other is through a process of observation and imitation.
Also, these turtle shell things I had to jump over, and that was really hard.
Human beings also learn by seeing something modeled for us, especially when the modeled actions are accompanied by rewards or punishments. Video games are uniquely positioned to provide experiences that do all of these things, because in most games, the player occupies both the role of participant and the role of spectator to their own actions. In this way, the women as reward trope in video games becomes a mechanism through which male entitlement is taught and reinforced in our wider culture. Cognitively, it's strikingly similar to the expectation that if a man buys a woman a few drinks, then he's owed sex. The money and time for the alcohol and conversation are the inputs, the sexual gratification is the output.
And I feel a little better, but it was hard. I mean, the whole thing was really hard.
I'm not kissing you.
It's a worldview that primarily defines women's social role as vessels of sexuality, It's a worldview that primarily defines women's social role as vessels of sexuality It's a worldview that primarily defines women's social role as vessels of sexuality and men's roles as consumers or patrons of that sexuality.
Okay, screw this, screw it. Hey, Dragon, you can have her.